All right, guys. So I'll be addressing how you can change your career from whatever you're doing now into tech, and possibly this is a series I want to do a lot this year. Go live when I'm eating, so I can start a tech. I can teach more. Right. So I'm seeing Emenike Oriako. You're asking how may I start a tech career? So starting a tech career is simple if you just know the guidelines and what to do next. So it's like signing up into a university. You just need to know what to learn next, what to learn next. But after some time, maybe after your 100 level, you have enough skill to actually start a job. Then on the job, you learn on the job. Tech is very, very practical. So if you're wondering how you're going to start with tech, it's very, very practical, all right? So first of all, you need a laptop. That is it. You need a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, it's going to be difficult. All right, but I've seen people who have done it without laptops. For someone like me, I started without a laptop. I just sipped a very nice smoothie. So I started without a laptop. Those days, I didn't have a laptop. So what I did was I went to the market and bought a flash drive. All right. So with the flash drive, I would head to a cyber cafe, and then I'll log into their system as if I want to browse. Instead, I want to study. I will download the videos and whatever I want. I'll watch it there. Then I'll practice right there at the cyber cafe. Whenever my time is about to expire, I'll save the contents of what I had inside my flash drive and go home. So you need a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, these days there are smartphones. So one thing you can do with your smartphone is to go to Play Store and download some apps that will help you write code. All right. So as you're learning, you can write code with your apps. So these days, your phone can have a dual screen like mine. I'm using an Android phone that can divide the screen into two. So I can be watching a video at the top and practicing at the bottom. So if you go to Android Play Store, you can look for something called IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. You download it. But if you're on a computer, like a laptop, you can also look for IDEs. A very good IDE that I use personally on a laptop is called VS Code. VS Code stands for Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio is the software that was written by an editor, right? That was written by Microsoft. Now, what's an editor? An editor is an interface, just like Microsoft Word. But this time you use it to create code. In Microsoft Word, you use your Microsoft Word to create documents, all right? In programming, you use an editor to create code. So basically, you're writing. After writing, the thing will compile it and make it look like a software. You know what I'm saying? So you need that to start with software development. Then you need where to start. A good place to start, the perfect place to start is HTML. There's something called HTML. I made a course about this, so in case you want to get a course, I think if you scroll down on my timeline, I'll try and put the link. But if you scroll down on my timeline, you will see where I'm trying to market some courses. So doesn't mean that you can't get it elsewhere on the internet. If you search around on the internet, you can get it. But there's a difference between a white guy teaching you and a black guy teaching you. Somebody that speaks your language, that sounds like you know what I'm saying? Okay, so once you get your laptop and you install your editor, you need to start with something called HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. They use HTML to design all the websites in the world. Any website you are seeing, anything that looks like a website you are browsing, basically was done with HTML. Of course, the other things they will put on top, but HTML is the basics. So with HTML, within 3 days, you can learn HTML. Like I have students now taking my course online. All my courses are online, all right? Students taking my course online, then they ask me questions on WhatsApp. They are taking the HTML course and it's working. All right, 3 days, they are done. Personally, when I learned mine about 10 years ago, I learned it in 3 days. So in 3 days, you can say, I've made my first move in switching to a tech career. Remember when we did our crossover night this year? The word for the year, according to all my partners, all my fans, is that we're going to make a big move this year. You will not do what you did last year this year. You're going to do something huge this year. So that's how to change to tech career. After HTML, you need something called CSS. All right. CSS is basically cascaded style sheets. It will help you add beauty to your website. CSS is what they use to add all the beauty. Any website you see, some places are white, some are dark, some are this. That's CSS. CSS is about coloring. It's about the look and feel of things. So if you're into things like fashion design, you know, you have an eye for combination of colors. You'll be good with front-end design. You'll be good at looking at app and be like, this doesn't feel good. The color, you don't mix blue and green. It doesn't match, all right? You need blue and that's CSS. You know, if you want to be able to build things like that, make it beautiful, you need to know CSS. Feel free to ask questions. If I skipped your question, you can repeat the question because so many people are joining and in all the social networks that I'm in. So once you know CSS, all right, CSS will take you approximately 3 days too. So if HTML took you 3 days, you should know that CSS will take you roughly the same number of days. All right. So once you're done with the CSS, you can start moving to, let me read this question. So let's say in your first week, yes, a smartphone, MNK, you need a smartphone, all right? If you don't have a laptop, then you have to do it the hard way, you know? Sometimes the hard way is the only way. Use your smartphone, go to Play Store and download, look for IDE. You will see, or HTML IDE, something like that. Just type it, HTML IDE. You will see a lot of IDEs. Just download any one and start using it. Then you need to follow a tutorial. I have a tutorial on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, okay? You can sign up on my site to get a tutorial. Okay, so once you understand CSS, that will take you roughly 3 days, all right? It doesn't mean you'll be an expert. Most things in life, you don't need to know everything. You need to know enough to work with it, then learn on the job. That's the concept. So with CSS, you can end up, CSS will take you another 3 days, okay, to complete the syllabus. In my course, CSS is like 12 videos. All right, but you know you're not just watching it like a movie. You watch it, practice, watch it, practice, watch it, practice. That is what will drag it out into 3 days. And you need to dedicate like 30 minutes per day on it. Okay. So once you're done with CSS on your 6th day, your first week, you're already writing codes. You've already done something that is visible. Remember that with your HTML and CSS, what you're doing will not be so presentable, but it is something, all right? But it will not be so amazing. Okay. So after CSS, you need to go into something that is called JavaScript. JavaScript is core programming. Now, some people argue that you should move into Bootstrap after CSS. All right, there's something called Bootstrap. That is what will make your site very beautiful. All right, I will explain it later. So, but from teaching people, I've taught over 200,000 people. I know that the right thing for people to earn from experience, all right, the right thing for people to go into after CSS is JavaScript. JavaScript is your first real introduction to programming. All right. Join me, guys. I'm eating. So your first real introduction to programming is JavaScript. That's where you start getting exposed to core programming concepts like conditional statements, like if, else. You start getting exposed to things like data structures, you know. So that's where you start learning the actual, what is called programming. But once you're done with JavaScript, usually I give people 1 week. My JavaScript course is supposed to take you 1 week, all right, to cover. And there are some courses you can take it 2 weeks, all right. Now remember, like I said, it doesn't make you a pro. It's just like learning, if I was learning a language like German, and you teach me everything every day for 1 week, I will know all that is involved in German language. I will know how to use my dictionaries and stuff. If I want to talk to someone, I know exactly the sentence structure. I know where to go and research. I know what to type on Google. That's what the training is about. It gets you started, all right? And it's the best way for newcomers to get started, because if you take a very long training, it's going to get you tired out. So many people that fail to learn programming is because they took a course that will take 6 months. What the hell? What are you learning for 6 months? So within first 1-2 weeks, let's say JavaScript will take you around 2 weeks. All right. Remember that this is your third week of programming now. You used 1 week to learn HTML and CSS. You do 2 weeks to cover all the basics of JavaScript. Then you take a back turn into something called Bootstrap. So I'll explain Bootstrap shortly. Remember to ask questions. I'm looking at your questions. Feel free to ask questions, all right? In case you fail to watch this live, you can ask questions after in the comment section. I'll be there to answer, all right? So once you take JavaScript, you will have had an idea of what programming is. Very good, strong idea, and you can actually say, yes, I've written a couple programs, all right? Then you come back to Bootstrap. That's when you will now appreciate Bootstrap. So normally, the way they used to build websites in the past is somebody will write HTML, then write a lot of CSS to make the site beautiful. You need to be extremely good in CSS to be able to produce something really beautiful. But some people looked at it and be like, the guys that worked at Twitter, 2 Twitter software developers, they decided one day that they're going to make this thing easier, right? Let's write our own HTML, CSS in bits. After writing it in bits, we'll compile it into one pseudo programming language where they call a framework. So if somebody wants to design a beautiful website, they don't have to do it afresh again. They just need to download our Twitter Bootstrap. And then once they write one line, instead of something that should have taken 30 lines, they will just write one line. The whole top navigation bar of the website will be beautiful. You write another one line, buttons will look cool. You write another one line, this one will happen. Another one line, that will happen. So that's what Twitter Bootstrap is. So almost about, I can't even remember the numbers, but I think somewhere around 60 to 70% of new websites are built with Twitter Bootstrap. That's how powerful it is. So you take a back roll and learn Twitter Bootstrap. Once you're good with Twitter Bootstrap, it means you have done your basics. All right. Hey Prince, got it. Yeah, chat me up. If you feel, send me a DM. If you feel we need to talk, just send me a DM, especially on Instagram. All right, just drop a message on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at RealDevPartner. All right, drop a message and let's parley. So once you learn that Bootstrap, you have covered your basics. All right, now you are ready to. At the Bootstrap level, you can actually be a front-end developer. Like you can actually apply for a job and say, I want to start working. All right, this is what I can do. I know front-end, I know Bootstrap, I know some JavaScript, I know HTML, I know my CSS. Give me any website, I will design the front end. I will design something that looks like that. You understand? So this is my 1 month strategy for you to move from where you are to finding a job. So it's amazing that sometimes, every time you see youth saying that they don't have a job, take my course. All right? Learn software development. All right? Learn software development. It's gonna take you there. All right? Remember that is it physical or online? It's online. Okay, it's online. Now, look, one mistake people make when they want to move into software development is that they usually want to carry on their knowledge from other fields. For instance, the hardest people to teach ever software development are usually, from my experience, all right, not like I'm talking bad about the profession, are doctors. Because of their background. For you to graduate as a medical doctor, you have to form a very strong habit of studying, reading books. You have to read big books. Read, prepare for exams. You have to always be in that exam mode. If you see any doctor that has free time, that person is not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Even their career, medical career is very hectic. Just like the student studying school period. So when doctors want to make a switch into software development and you're telling them the course is online is the best way, they don't understand. They'll be like, how can I sit on a laptop and be reading stuff? You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the way software development is. If you're moving into a new field, you have to play by the rules of that field because it's called software development for a purpose. You're going to spend your whole career on a laptop. If you don't know how to study using that laptop or that phone, you're going to run into a lot of problems because you will have issues. You'll be going to market to go and look for book to buy. That's in 1980. So if you want to learn software development, be ready to take it online because that's the best way. Best way. Once you get the hang of it, even if you're not the type that likes studying online, once you do it 2-3 days, it becomes part of you. And these days, most people, because of school, prefer to have a book type stuff. They want to read. They want to scroll through screen and read. The thing is, it's not about reading, all right? The advice is usually read when you want to make a reference. Let's say you're building an app and you want to create a fancy slide. You go to that slide website, go to their documentation and read how do they do it. But if you are still learning software development, you don't read, you watch. You get onto a video and watch somebody do that thing. If you watch my video, I will say, I want to create a button. This is the code I typed. I click here, I drag this, I do that, it works. You try it on your own, exactly the same step, it works. So when you're learning, you need videos. You know what I'm saying? But when you're finished learning and you're trying to build actual stuff, that's when you read documentations, you read. As you're doing something, if you run into a problem, from what you learned, you already know how to find the solutions to your problems. So once you're done with Bootstrap, you've covered your basics. You can actually apply for a job, intern software developer. Now, to apply for jobs, you need to have a portfolio. In software development, they don't ask for a certificate though. This one is not like I have PhD. Nobody sends your PhD. Thunder fire. Nobody sends your PhD. This one is not like I'm a dropout. Nobody cares if you're drop out to where? Nobody cares. What they want is, we want a website that does XYZ. Can you build it? If you convince them that you can build it, they're taking you. Or we want a mobile app that does XYZ. Or want to set up our server. Can you do server management for us? If you say yes, boom. If you say no, all right. So the whole interview about software development is built around knowing whether you can actually do what you can do. You said you want to do. Nobody cares if you can speak English well. Like I work with people that are struggling with speaking English. I'm talking about people from Europe, Middle East, US, not US now, but South America. These guys, English is their second or third language. They're struggling, but they're working in English-speaking countries. Nobody cares if you can speak English. So once you know software development, it's kind of the basic skill that you need that you can now settle down and start looking for whether you want to keep pursuing it or you want to take a risk into your own business or whatever. Because the problem many people have is that they're trying to start a business and it's too much of a big risk. They will be like, what if I resign my job now? Would there be any other company that will employ me? You know? But if you have a software development skill, you can always go out, take any risk in it, knowing that if what you're trying to do doesn't work, you can always refer back to your software development skills and get a paying job. All right. So they said that in 2014 alone, about 3 million people working in IT occupations. There were about 3 million. Okay. So there are a whole aspects of design. All right. Design is in terms of software development. There are several aspects. Is either you are the designer, front end guys, they're into design. They will look at your website and build it to look like very presentable. Then there are back end developers. These are the guys that make it work. If somebody feels that login button and click submit, what actually happened in the back to go and log in the person, to go to the database, check the person's details, come back, this, that. The user doesn't see these things. That's why it's called back end. But there is some algorithm, some logic that happens in the back end. After it has happened, then the user sees that I just click login and login just work. you know what I'm saying? So somebody did a lot of code in the back that made that thing work. So if you're more like the logical thinker, the guy that will see something and have 100 questions about it, what if this, what if that, what is this, that, you need to go to back end. But if you're the person that has an eye for design, you have an eye for color, you easily spot it when something is off color, you know? You have an eye for beauty. You like things being beautiful, you know? Beauty plays a big aspect of whatever you're doing. You need to stay in front-end development. But the advice I normally give people is, hey, you start from software development, front end, and decide. After you've done front end, you do some back end, then you decide. All right. So that's why my software development course is structured so that once you have done your HTML, CSS, I introduce you to JavaScript. You do JavaScript, then you can get the feeling, is this my thing or not? If it's not your thing, you do Bootstrap, then you get the feeling again, is this my thing or not? You understand? Anyone that you feel better, then you can stay on it and then learn more around it. So that software development for you, it's actually easy to start up. It's very easy. Then the salary in the US, the average salary is between $7,000 to $10,000 per month. $10,000 is about 3.6 million naira. You know, so in Nigeria, if you're starting out, let's say you don't know Jack, you take my course. The work you're gonna get will be between 70 to 100,000 naira. If you finish taking my course this month and next month you want to find a job with it in Nigeria, 70 to 100,000 naira per month. So, but after like a year or two, all right, the magic happens there. By your second year, you have moved from 100,000 to 200,000. The salary you'll be getting, salary offer you'll be getting is like 200,000. By your third year, you should be somewhere around 450 to 700,000. In Nigeria, it might be hard to find companies that will pay you 700,000 naira in Nigeria, but abroad, you'll see a lot of companies. They offer you $2,000. 700,000 is $2,000. Remember that the average they pay software developers in the US is $10,000. So if a company in the US sees a software developer in the US for 10,000 and sees the same thing in Nigeria for 2,000, they'll pay Nigeria. You know? So these are averages. I've seen people earning, most Nigerians that go abroad go under $4,000 payment. $4,000 is around 1.2 to 1.5 million. Who can do the maths? Most Nigerians that go abroad, usually they will start paying you like $7,000, but then due to tax and all whatnot, after cutting it out, you have 4,000 take home. You can't compare it to, I think the highest amount any civil servant in Nigeria can earn is 1.5 million naira. Who can correct me when I'm wrong? I might be wrong, but I think that's it. If you're a civil servant, highest you can earn is somewhere around 1.5 million. And somebody is touching that amount within 3 years. Isn't it amazing? It's amazing. So the question is, why is it that people are not learning this thing? Like, it's amazing. And it's not that it's that hard. You just need to take it 30 minutes per day and you'll be there. 4 blast tick, I can see you. Keep dropping your questions though. So if you are ready, if finding a job is your problem, you need to learn software development. Like, don't even think twice about it. And you need to get a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, stop whatever you're trying to put money on. Don't buy shoe. See some guys who try to buy Timberland, 8,000 and forget, push it that in. Don't buy any fancy anything. Just save up your money and get a laptop. Don't buy hair. Nobody will kill you if you didn't make your hair. You know, don't buy fancy clothes. Use the one you currently have. Save up your money. A new laptop is somewhere around, mini laptops, 55,000 naira. If you go to places like Computer Village with 55,000, you can get a very good London used laptop that will normally sell at 200,000. If you take 55,000 naira to market, you'll get very good London used laptop. Then you can start with it. All right. So if you need a link to my course, I'll put it in the comment section. And if you're watching me from Instagram where I can't put a link, what you can do is scroll down my timeline or go to my profile, click, you will see the link there, click and go get the course. And sign it up for people. Call somebody, say, hey, I signed you up on a course for Dev Partners course. Instead of them having to disturb you every time that they don't have money and stuff. Ask questions, ask questions. Okay, so somebody is asking, okay, how much is the course? So we normally have variable pricing, and then we run on promos in 3 to 4 phases. So we ran the first promo. The second promo now is at 13K, 13.5K, right? You get the 4 packages. And then you can always chat me up personally. So when you sign up for the course, you see my number, chat me up personally on WhatsApp if you have any issues while taking. If you have any questions, because the thing with programming is that you need somebody you can always reach out to instantly. I have this problem, I'm trying to solve this, please help me. I ran into this problem. So see my number personally, you can always chat up. So eventually we'll get it to 140K, because some people want to sign up in bulk, and the cost cannot be that cheap for the program we're trying to run for it to work out. It can't work out at that cheap, stupendously cheap price. This software development I'm teaching you, people are learning it with about 10,000 euro per month, 6 to 10,000 euro or dollars per month abroad, and somebody's doing it for 13.5K in Nigeria. Somebody said, I have 6 years experience in graphic design and 2 years experience in UI UX design. I'm thinking of moving to front end. Yes, if you have these things, you're at an advantage. Hello design, you're at an advantage. So what you need to learn is do your HTML, your CSS, learn your JavaScript. Then you need to learn a framework, learn your Bootstrap. All right. Then maybe after Bootstrap, you can decide whether you want to learn something like React, or something like Angular. Vue.js is better than Angular in terms of popularity. So if you don't know anything about front end at all, go and pick my course, because you've already done 50% of it. You're coming from a graphic design background. It means you're that guy that is good with you understand colors, all right? So you should move into front end. Don't even think about it. Don't even be on the thinking stage. Move in straight up. So click on my name, go to my profile. You will see you see the link to software development course for beginners, absolute beginners. That's exactly what you need. So I'm going to be rounding up soon. If you have any question, drop it. If you didn't catch me live, what you're going to do is to drop the question in the comment section. I will try and see it. Then also, if you want to chat me up personally, my number is on the website BrainTime. I will drop the link in the comment section. You go there, you'll see my number. If you scroll down, you see my WhatsApp number. Then you can call and we can talk about it. All right, guys. I'm gonna stop here. Thank you very much. See you guys.